Hi, welcome to another program. And this week, or this program, I want to talk about Egypt, but not in relation with Egypt and Turkey, which, since I'm Turkish, I'm always trying to bring the issues from the eyes of the Turkish society. But now Egypt is important for Turkey to have an eye on it, not because of the problems between Turkey and Egypt, but because Egypt has domestic and also other foreign problems. That's why we have been forecasting that Egypt is not going to be a major obstacle before Turkey. There are a lot of reasons that Egypt is in lack of preserving its own power as a regional power in the Northern Africa region. And now we are seeing that they have been losing its influence on the countries that once respected Egypt as a regional power. So without further ado, we will start with Egypt and the Ethiopian Great Renaissance Dam. Now, the problem with that is the Nile River has born from foreign lands, and it goes to Egypt through the South Sudan and Ethiopia. And Ethiopia, since 2011, has decided to construct a Grand Renaissance Dam, which is going to create a meaningful energy contribution to Ethiopian economy. Ethiopia, as you might maybe recognize, but for the last 3 to 4 years has been developing its economy greatly. They have been receiving aid from the EU and also from the US, and they have been starting to also modify the democracy over there, and further they try to develop the economy. So how they are doing this? And they are putting effort on the agriculture, and they are trying to create or manufacture or construct, let's say, some manufacturing zones. Now, for that, they need electricity. At this moment, 40% of the Ethiopian population can be provided a continuous electricity. However, Ethiopia is in lack of electricity. At the moment, they have a total capacity of, if I'm not wrong, 17 to 18,000 megawatts. And this dam is going to create 6,000, almost 6,500 megawatts annually. And that's a huge contribution to the Ethiopian. You are going to create the energy, energy to these factories, and they can start manufacturing and also sell to other countries, which is going to contribute greatly to economy, and also is going to reduce the unemployment. It will help the women to participate in the workforce. It will help the economy to boost or to support the education for the youngsters. It will stabilize the country. So for Ethiopia, it's not maybe or might be, but it's a must project since it has been completed, and this is now a rainy season between July and October, end of September, like that. In that region, they want to hold the water over there, and they want to test the first 2 turbines, and they want to see how it's producing or electricity. And next year, and I have to say that the Nile has a capacity of 50 BCM annually. They want to hold their 18 to 19 BCM in order to test the rest of the turbines. And they want to take the dam into operational phase, which is going to create electricity for the country. And they want to, for the next decade, before 2030s, they want to have all these energy needs of the Ethiopian public being fulfilled. So Ethiopia is in the mood, in the right direction to develop its economy, but it creates a major threat to Egypt. Now, most of the parties are afraid that this might create a war, expanded war between the countries like Southern Sudan, Somalia, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Egypt even. But it will not. But at first, let's look at the risks that now Egypt has been facing. Now, Sisi has been, Sisi, the president, has been facing 2 major threats at this moment. One is the Libyan, and the Turkish military and the Libyan national accord government over there has been posing a great risk to Egypt. And Egypt, unfortunately, has been aligned with Greece and Cyprus and some others, and even with Russia, in order to impose the Turkish interests, national interests over there. And from the Turkish aspects, we see the Egyptians more being contracted to have or to impose threat to Turkey. Now, I do not believe that there will be a war between two Muslim countries. At first, we are two Muslim countries, and in this region, religion is important. It doesn't mean that it has not been done before. It has been, I mean, there had a lot of wars between the Muslim countries. But at this moment, a war due to Libya is unlikely to happen. Moreover, the Ethiopian stance has been creating a great threat to Egypt to be endorsed as a regional power in the Northern Africa. Why? In 1929 and 1958, if I'm not wrong, there have been agreements that endorse Egypt to use the vast majority of the Nile resources on its willing. Now, what does it mean? They can use more than they need, and they give a little to those countries like Northern or the South Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, all these countries at their discretion. But the problem is, at that moment, the United Kingdom, which supports Egypt majorly due to the Suez Channel, thinks that once Egypt is going to get a rise, it will help the others also to get a rise. But at first, Egypt should get a rise, where Egypt is going to start also making trade with Europe, with the Americans, and all these things. And through Egypt is getting richer, the others is going to sell the products here, especially industrial products. And there will be a trade, and trade is going to keep the region peacefully. And Egypt's role is also to disturb or to make a channel and to create channels and to give all these or to share all these regions with the other countries. That will impose or that will endorse Egypt as a regional power. The problem is Egypt never is successful to be a regional power. I'm not saying that it is not. I mean, it is. It has a big army. It's an effective army also to most extent. But their policy elites are really they do not believe that, or they do not intend to take this role. Egypt have the potentials, but they have failed to demonstrate this potential. And that becomes the problem for Egypt now, especially Ethiopia. The Great Renaissance Dam imposed that risk. It says to Egypt that I don't recognize you as a regional power. I do care my own interests. I have to do this because I have to develop my economy. You fail to show commitment to your role, so I am going to do whatever it takes to rise my country up. Now, if it is successful, which we believe it is, and it will be even more, the other countries will follow the Ethiopia, and they will show more resilience against the Egyptians' role in the Northern African. And that's the first risk that Egypt has been now facing with. The second is, in this area, there are some seasons where it is good, the rain is good, there is no problem. But where the rain falls short, the drought begins. The drought begins, the agricultural products are becoming poor. The agriculture are becoming poor, the unemployment goes up. Unemployment goes up, terror might come up, especially with the Sinai Peninsula, where Egypt has been facing with a great resistance from the public. This is going to be a serious problem in future for Egypt. The problem with the Egyptian economy, as we have mentioned in the previous videos, that Egypt has to show 7% GDP each year annually if they want to have a meaningful development for themselves. Now, because of the increasing population and because of the bad administration and because of the other things, it is projected that by the World Bank and OECD data shows that they are going to have for the next coming decade an average of 3% annually GDP, which means that they will have 4% short of. Imagine that to be null or to be even, let's say, they need 5% at least to go up, but still they are going to stay at 3 in average, which means that each year they are going to lose actually 2% of their GDP. This is going to affect their investment on military. This is going to affect their foreign policies. This is going to affect their domestic policies. It's going to increase the threats of the terrorists and others, resilience and also unrest in the country. And people now, what we have said in the also previous video, that according to the World Bank, and the daily per day, $1.25 is the poverty rate. Now, since 2000 up until 2018, it goes from 18% to 34%, and there is no ups and downs. It just goes steadily. And at this moment, according to that data, the 34% of the population is on or under the poverty limit. Now, the problem there, really the last 10 years, I will say, the GDP average of Egypt was or had been almost 5.5%, which was excellent, by the way. The problem is that this GDP improvement cannot be reflected on the people's life. There are problems with it. Population is increasing. Other things are increasing. Moreover, the elites, the military elites and politician elites do not share this richness with the people, and that makes the people really get offended by their acts and their disbeliefs. And that's why we are also projecting that it's going to create a genuine problems within 5 to 10 years. Stop, by the way, starting from Peninsula, the Sinai Peninsula, and to Cairo, and also the southern, I will say, Egypt. We will see unrest going in numbers up each year annually from now on. And this Ethiopian dam is also going to add really a big problem to their economy because of the drought. Agriculture is very important. Egypt has been receiving so many aid from the EU or the EAC, let's say, countries, the development aid countries like US, Germany, and others, EU. But if the agriculture is going to be affected because of the dam, where the water levels are going to be reduced, then they will start to have many problems, and they will be left with only, at this moment, tourism, and maybe in future, if they can be successful, maybe gas. We will see what will happen over there. But as far as we see, Egypt, unless secures their, I will say, southern flank, and they secure the Nile water resources, or they somehow agree with how the shares of Niles will be agreed between those countries, Egypt is in lack of confronting Turkey in terms of military, economically, and foreign influence in the Mediterranean region, even if they want to cooperate or make coalition with other countries such as Greece and Russia. But as I say, these are projections. We will see what will happen, but most likely it will happen in this path. So if you like this button, there's a like button here. Please press on it, and there is also a bell icon. Please press on it so you will get membership to our YouTube channel. And whenever we publish one, you will be noticed by the YouTube. So thank you for watching. Keep safe and happy day. Bye.